Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Chicago Now. Anthony Ponce here alongside Anita, who's once again in for Caitlin on a Wednesday.
Hanging out with you halfway through the work week. Feeling good, man. We're
glad.
making it.
Yeah.
We're making it.
Your mood always tends to lighten on Thursday. You call it Friday Eve. We're almost there.
You know, yeah, Friday is the helpful day. The
Yeah.
most helpful day of the week. But Wednesday, it's like inspirational. Like, you know, you're getting there.
We've had some good stuff on all morning.
We're the train
Anita.
that could. So halfway there is positive. Yeah.
The little engine that
The
could.
little engine that could. Yeah.
Right.
Plenty to come here in this next hour.
Yeah, we do have a lot going on. The global hunger crisis, bigger than ever, but this is cool. I'm so excited for this guest.
Yes.
We have a cool artist that's going to be joining us here on the program, using his talent to help transform the narrative through a powerful new art campaign.
Yeah.
And Brandon Bro has actually got some stuff in some pretty prominent locations.
He has a stellar resume, everybody. So it's really an honor that he's taken time to chat with us today. Obviously, if you think about things that we see even here in Chicago, but then on a grander scale throughout the country or throughout the world, what we're watching right now, you know, for instance, the video that we constantly see out of Palestine and Gaza, the Gaza Strip, you know, it really is tough to see. It really is tough to see because regardless of how you feel about like war, when you see children who you can see the skeleton, you know, when you see people running to aid stations, when you see all of those different types of things, you know, more just needs to be done. And he's doing it in his own way. And it really is inspirational from the standpoint of like, oh, everybody can play their part.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, not everybody does the same thing. I can't maybe fly a helicopter in, but there's something that everybody can do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're going to be speaking with him about this new art campaign, his role in it, and take a look at some of his awesome work. I know he's got a mural down at the location of the Obama Center.
Yes.
He's super talented.
Yeah.
Also later on, we're going to hear from a job expert on tips specifically
Listen.
for college grads who are looking for their first gig.
You already know how I feel about this particular topic. When I saw that we were going to be talking about it today, I was like, please, I'm going to tape it. I'm going to send it to my nephew. I am in this place right now with someone who's 2 years out of college.
Oh, yeah.
So it's still that very humbling time. If you really think back to like your first couple of jobs out of school, it is a humbler because when you're a senior in college, you're like, oh, the world is my oyster.
Take a card.
I'm getting
Here
ready
you
to
go.
go
Here's a card.
do it, and then you get out in the real
yeah.
world and I just, you know, it's humbling. It's humbling. Just like when you first go to college, you know, and you're coming off your senior year in high school and you were like this, that, and the other thing in high school. And then you get to college and you're like, whoa, you know. The same thing for the real world, and especially right now, the economy that we're in, and it's tough out here for the new graduates. And so for Gen Z, whether you are going in that direction of getting ready to come out of college, or you are in your first couple of years out of college, this is a really important conversation that you need to pay
Yeah, I
attention
can't wait to get into that as well. I'll never forget. I called it my quarter life crisis for sure. It was very disillusioning getting to the real world after those college
it's a
years.
slap
right?
to your face,
it
for
really,
sure.
For me, it really was.
For me, there were a few things like I was a military kid, you know, and I still definitively remember coming up off of that military insurance. And I'm like, wait, people pay for this stuff?
Oh yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, it was like that was a huge wake up moment for me. You know, people see what we do. They think that like, oh, you know, you're on TV, or look, in your first market,
Oh man.
you're broke.
Ramen
you're
noodles can be hard to afford in that first market.
My rent was, I would take the check, one check plus $30 from the second check each month to make my rent for the month.
Oh my gosh.
So, you know, you think about like you're trying to look cute on TV and you're like, I need to, you know, makeup, some clothes, but I still need to eat and put gas in my car and live off of that little bit that's left. It's hard.
Okay,
it's hard, humbling.
Oh, for
humbling.
sure, for
so great
sure.
conversation about what Gen Z can do right now.
All right, before we get to those guests, we got to dive in, Anita, to what is trending. And this is a cool thing.
Yeah.
An Illinois lotto player who is just going by a nickname at this point.
I love her nickname.
Wishing Fish.
Yeah.
won $1 million after spontaneously choosing a $10 ultimate bonus payout scratch-off ticket, like the one you're looking at right now at Jewel Osco in Cary, Illinois. This is unbelievable too, Anita. The song that was playing.
Some Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd. Money.
Yeah.
Get away.
She's chilling, listening to good music, eating a little chocolate, you know, and then you realize, wait a minute, I'm rich. This could have helped Gen Z out, you know?
I love what she's doing with it too. Wishing
Yeah.
Fish says she plans to share the prize with 15 family members, especially her 3 grown children, and also help a friend out with housing.
So I love what she's doing. I love what she's doing. I think this is a moment for everyone else, though, to think, what would I do?
Oh yeah.
Like,
Every time there's a
what would I
lotto
do?
story,
Yeah.
I guess it's different when it's $1 million versus like, you know, we cover the mega millions
Right.
where people are becoming instant billionaires
Yeah.
these days. But I like that she's helping out. You always think about, okay, what of my loved ones would get a piece of that pie?
When I was growing up, my grandmother, God rest her soul, will always make me fill out the Publishers Clearinghouse form.
Yeah. Ed McMahon showing up with that oversized check.
And she fully believed that one day Ed McMahon was going to make his way to her house in Waco, Texas. And he never made it there, but we filled that thing out faithfully. I've always thought, like, with the amount of times that they've been out to people's homes, we should all know someone who's gotten Publishers Clearinghouse by now.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, so she would
Do
always
you know
say,
any
like,
lotto winners though personally?
not major.
Okay.
No, but
I
she
know
would
a
always
couple,
say, I'll
like-
give to the church first.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, there you go.
Take care of the church first.
Yeah.
Then I'll pay for your college. Thank God I had another way. And, and then we'll go from there. Yeah. So you know a millionaire?
Oh man, no.
Or a lotto winner?
I know someone who won 10 grand.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
so
not
that's
shabby.
which is
It's
not
10 million
shabby
more than you
at
had
all.
at the beginning of the day.
That could be some difference making dough
Yeah.
right there, but that's my limit. I don't know anyone who's won more than that.
Oh my gosh, what would you do?
Ooh, the mortgage for sure
Yeah.
would, and then I mean I like Wishing Fish's
Yeah.
idea of taking care of your immediate
Yeah,
family.
got to go back to my grandma's thoughts of like, you know, give to the church
Gotta
first.
do the charity.
Give and it will
Gotta
come
do
back
some
to you.
kind of charity,
Good
too.
measure. But yeah, some charity
Karma
work.
is real.
Definitely with your family, making sure everybody's set up for success. But if there's some cousins that come calling from afar, you know, so
We're losing the connection. What's your name again? All right.
Some
we'll
folks
see you at
are
the next
like, I
reunion.
haven't seen you since you were 2.
Yeah, now you're coming calling. And
That
guess
might
what,
be
though? This is now the 35th $1 million scratch-off prize claimed in Illinois. So there's been 35 lucky winners this year alone.
Who probably go by some of those nicknames like well-wished.
Yeah. All right, well, congratulations to you.
As well. I love the fact that she can use that name, too. You know, keep some anonymity.
Well, there's some states that I think require you to be public.
Some
with
do,
it, right?
and I don't really like that.
No, I don't think that's fair.
Because people just come out of the woodworks then.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
yeah, good on her.
Gotta change your phone number.
Good on her.
All right, we have some hospitals that are getting an honor.
Yeah, and here's the thing: out of like 5,000, I think, across the country that they looked at, 2 in Illinois made the top of the list. I mean, this is awesome stuff, because when you think about having to go, I have a procedure tomorrow. So you're either happy that you're on the list.
Do disclose now.
I'm not in the TMI generation, I would tell you, but I have a colonoscopy tomorrow.
Oh, I've had 2 myself.
It's not a biggie.
We should be following.
Everyone
we should be
doing
openly.
it. Over a certain age, it should not be TMI. So you get happy either that your hospital is on the list, or you might be a little concerned, you know. And I like the fact that they say, if you are concerned, don't be too concerned. You know, one of the things that they say about this is that while honor roll hospitals stand out nationally, experts remind patients to use these rankings as a guide, not
an
a
end-all
rule.
be-all.
Yeah,
but yes,
consult with the doctors, factor in your insurance coverage, that's huge, and your personal needs when you choose.
So not surprisingly, it was Rush University Medical Center that topped the list, along with Northwestern Memorial Hospital. They were both made the top 10. And then I was actually glad to hear that there were 2 others that made the top 20 that were on both the north and south side. So Evanston Hospital up on the in the northern suburbs, and then Advocate Christ Medical Center in Oak Lawn. And we, unfortunately, in our role as reporters, sometimes have to spend a lot more time than we should at Advocate Christ Hospital in Oak Lawn, because they're one of the only level 1 trauma centers in that region. So a lot of the stories we tend to cover on the news, the patients end up there.
Here's what I found out in a weird way years ago. I had to have an appendectomy. I was actually doing the news when my appendix ruptured.
No way, you were in the middle of your shift?
It's quite the story. And it was a very painful ride home.
Oh my gosh.
When the hospital I thought I was going to, this goes back into knowing your hospitals and like, yeah, this is the one. They sent me to a different hospital.
Oh no.
And
you were
it
in
was
pain
a level,
the whole time.
but it was a level 1 trauma center. And they were like, no, actually, in your condition, this is where you want to be.
Okay.
So like sometimes some hospitals kind of get a bad rap if they're like a level 1 trauma center, because you're thinking like, oh, well, they might treat, gunshot victims or something like that. I don't want to, be in the midst of anything. No. Actually, if you really have a bad problem, that's where you want to be, because that's where the doctors who know how to treat it are. So think about that. Sometimes, it's just the power of words. So I like to make sure we speak good words over all of them, because they all kind of have their niche, and sometimes some get a bad rap. But there's some positive in there too.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Another thing trending today, you saw our coverage if you tuned in this morning. Another tsunami.
Yeah.
Another tsunami. And this one,
earthquake that caused the tsunami warnings. Earthquake 8.8. You just don't hear about that magnitude very often. Took place in Russia, but then you have like tsunami warnings for Japan and even up and down like California, Oregon,
that whole
Washington.
hemisphere. That whole hemisphere got impacted. So Hawaii, the west coast of the United States, so all the way from California up to Oregon and Washington State as well. But Hawaii in particular, there were sirens blaring.
Yeah.
Folks had to get to higher ground. I mean, everybody remembers the Japan tsunami.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, Hawaii just went through something very similar to this last year. So a lot of those
talking
folks,
about the fire disaster?
Yes,
Yeah,
and
they've
having
had
to
it.
evacuate. I looked at some of the pictures yesterday. We have a coworker who has a friend who is in this region right now. And the pictures, even just looking through the pictures, you're like, oh my gosh.
No, I've had like nightmares about tsunamis since the Japan one.
Yeah.
And You know, we talked about how the waves are 4 feet tall, which at first, you know, you don't think, oh, 4 feet, that's nothing.
No,
They're
I'm
not,
5'2".
these are not waves. These are not waves,
5'2".
though.
A 4 foot wave, I do think a lot about that.
Well,
yeah.
okay, so you know, you see these big wave surfers where
Yeah.
the wave's like 50
Right.
feet tall. It's different though with the tsunami because
Yeah.
this is actually the water level coming up
Yeah.
4 feet. It's not like a temporary wave that crashes and
Yeah.
then, you know, the tide brings this is an actual wall of water. And 4 feet, I mean, think about if Lake Michigan, ooh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all of Lake
It's
Shore Drive,
tough.
you know what I'm saying?
We lived in Japan for a while when I was growing up, and one of the things that you find out very quickly there, their architecture is very different. The structure of their buildings, the way that they, you know, create their buildings or erect their buildings is very different because of these
tsunamis.
constant threats.
Yeah.
You know, of the earthquakes that take place there, obviously the tsunami warnings as a result of them. So yeah, I mean, just to see folks going through this right now, it's tough. And then again, it makes you think about the fact that the world is so big, but so small. Because we're talking about things that happen in Russia and effects in Japan, but then also for California,
South
Hawaii,
America,
Oregon,
Australia.
Yeah.
I feel like I can't remember which coast it was near, but they had all these tsunami evacuation signs. So, you know, we have like the emergency exits in our buildings. And you've got like a route. Oh, okay, this will get you to higher ground quickly, but it's like, it causes you to pause and think.
It does. Yeah.
So anyway, our thoughts, our good vibes go out to everybody in that region who is dealing with these warnings.
And those who are preparing. Like, we have another coworker who is going on vacation to Hawaii next week.
Oh, is that right?
So you think about, like, you put all this effort into getting ready for a vacation, and then the week before, like days before it, and I don't know what the time frame is on the length of, you know, obviously when you have an earthquake, the tsunami or the after effects of the earthquake can be several days after.
Oh, for sure.
So even if you're planning, this is prime vacation time. If you're planning a trip or you have someone in that area, it definitely gives you pause as well.
It does for sure. And then 8.8, you know, I'm not a seismologist or anything like that, but you think, but 8.8, you think aftershocks.
Yeah,
like, as you mentioned,
absolutely.
aftershocks. So,
we hear about like 2s and 3s a lot for like California or somewhere like that, but not 8.8. That's huge.
All right, coming up after a quick break, we are going to be meeting a very talented individual named Brandon Bro. He's an artist that is participating in this World Food Program USA effort to address the global hunger crisis in a very, very creative way. We're going to talk to him and see some of his work when we come back.
everyone. It's 10:21 right now, and in the midst of the world's largest hunger crisis, which we haven't really seen in recent memory, in recent history. The World Food Program USA is doing wonderful things. They are working with artists like our next guest, a Chicago native who has an incredible resume, to really raise awareness and bring more attention to the issues out there, and try to get more help for people who are enduring this extenuating circumstances right now. Brandon Bro is joining us now. We are so happy to have you, so honored that you gave us your time today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Good to see you, sir. Tell us how you personally got involved in this particular program, Fill the Silence.
Yeah, so I got involved. A friend of mine reached out to me from the Creators, which is an agency that works with artists, to be a part of the project. And, the work that I do, I really like to do purpose-driven work. And I'm really selective about the work that I take on. And this was a beautiful cause, and I definitely wanted to be a part of it.
Not all artists can be selective
Yeah.
about the work that they take on. Let's talk a little bit about your history. You have been in some amazing campaigns. Obviously, here in Chicago, we're most familiar with your work that's going to be for the Obama Presidential Center, but even like working with some of our historical greats. Tell us a little bit about things that you've been able to do.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, so in 2021, I had the opportunity of doing the book cover for John Lewis's posthumous book, Carry On. And for those who don't know, John Lewis was a representative, congressman, and an activist, a pretty big activist, that was a part of the SNCC movement and so on. So it was really an honor to do that work. But then also Andre Leon Talley, who was the editor-in-chief at Ebony magazine for a period and went on to be the editor-in-chief at Vogue, or an editor-in-chief at Vogue. So just really excited to be able to depict or render those visuals and honor their legacy and the things that they've done in their lifetime.
What kind of art do you do, Brandon, and what kind of creative input are you going to do for this current campaign to address the global hunger crisis?
That's a great question. I think, I try to display the humanity of the subjects that I paint, right? Display the nuances of individuals that I paint as well. For what I'm doing for the World Food Program, the goal really is to display empowerment and resistance of these people facing hunger in these parts of the world. So often in the past, we've seen campaigns that really lean into emotion and maybe even like pity in some ways, but to really reclaim the narrative in a way and talk about the empowerment and what it takes to be an individual to make it through these situations is where we wanted to focus. And I really wanted to make work that when these individuals saw it, they were really proud and they feel empowered by seeing an image of themselves in this light.
Yeah, humanizing something that can be so dehumanizing to many is so powerful. What goes through your mind as you are creating your work?
What really goes through my mind is the power of art and the power of the image, and how we are tasked with this great task of visibility, providing the right type of visibility to people, right, to promote and champion great causes. So wanting to take care of people is what goes through my mind. Wanting to do work that is reflective and that I could be proud of, and that those individuals can be happy to see themselves as a part of.
We understand that there were certain individuals that were selected to be featured in this particular campaign. Brandon, what was it like for you hearing their stories?
It was beautiful, to know. So, for instance, Akin is a 17-year-old young man who was in South Sudan, and he's receiving support from the World Food Program in the form of education, but then also he's being taught about how to work the land. So irrigation, he's being taught ways to provide for his community and his family, as well as literacy. So hearing about those stories are really inspiring to know that at that early age in life, he can contribute in such a way. I think we all long for a way to contribute in a meaningful way in our lifetimes. So that's really inspiring to hear. And then also Momina in Bangladesh and how she's used funds to help fortify their home, right? When flood seasons come. So to hear about the work that the WFP is doing is incredible. And I didn't know about that work before this project. So I'm really happy to be here speaking to you, to be able to spread the word, to know like how important programs like this are and inform people that they're losing funding right now.
Yeah, and when you talk about purpose-driven work or really using what you have to make a difference, I just know that there are so many young people here in Chicago. We've featured so many different programs that highlight the arts, but so many young people who see your name and see Chicago native and draw from that. I want you to speak to them. Like, if they are a young Brandon Bro here in Chicago, what do they need to know to get to where you are? What do they need to feel, believe, hold on to?
I love that. Believe in yourself. Believe in the work that you're doing. You believe in your network of people. Lean into those places in your life and those communities that give you inspiration, that give you life, and keep going. There'll be people who won't see your vision. There are always going to be people in this life who won't see your vision, but it's up to us to maintain that vision for ourselves and follow through. Keep going. Consistency is key, and keep moving forward.
Brandon, would you say there's a moment or a time period in your own artistic career where things started to shift for you from taking any work that you can get to getting to the point where you are now, where it's like, hey, you have to pick and choose which projects you take on? Was there a moment where the paradigm kind of shifted for you? And if so, can you tell us about that?
Yes, yeah, there was. When I did the work for Chance the Rapper, I did Chance the Rapper's mixtape covers and his early work. So all the early mixtapes and those impactful projects, I did that work for him. And at that time, after that, I was able to choose the work that I was to do, and it changed a lot for me. So I'm very thankful to Chance. I'm very thankful to Chicago and the culture and community that shaped me and that got me to where I am today.
Yeah, and before we let you go, I would definitely love to hear about any other projects that you have in the works or what's next for you. What do you still dream of? I mean, when you have been able to do some of the things that you've been able to do, like, well, what do you still dream of being able to do?
Thank you so much. I dream of continuing to connect with people, continue to create meaningful work in my life, and creating beautiful art experiences for people, but also educating the youth about the importance of art in our culture and society and why it is very impactful for us. And not to take that for granted, also not to take our talents and our gifts for granted, because we are amazing communicators, and when we use art to communicate and drive messages, magic happens. I really want to have more of those conversations with people.
Brandon, what is the easiest way someone can check out your artwork, not just online, but if they want to check it out in person?
Yeah. If they want to check it out in person, I have exhibitions that come and go. I don't have a current exhibition happening right now, but I have a mural on 55th and King Drive. On a north-facing wall, 55th and King Drive. You can see it from the intersection. But you can also, it's an augmented reality mural, so you can scan the QR code and interact with the mural as well. Cool. So that's probably the best place to see my work right now.
That's exactly the answer I was looking for. 55th and King Drive. And then online, where can folks check you out?
BrandonBro.com or my Instagram.
BREAUX, by the way.
Yes.
It's not BRO. Or BRAH, as some kids like to spell it. Brandon Bro, so nice to meet you over Zoom. I hope to see you in person very shortly, sir. Thank you so much.
Same. BuildTheSilence.org is the URL you can go to learn more about the program.
Love
Absolutely.
what you guys are doing.
Thank you so much for using your talents in such a special way. Appreciate it. Great
Love
speaking
it.
with you.
All right, we were going to take a quick break, but then it's time, Anita.
Time to dig
Your
in.
nephew better be listening to this next segment, Gen Z and the job search. We're going to get all the expert advice on how to navigate that coming up.
10:34, everybody. No secret. The world we're living in is tough. Economy we're living in is tough right now, and that's especially true for young people coming out of school. I mean, it's true for anybody, but especially Gen Z in those first few years out of college. So we enlisted some expert help here because we want to set you up for success. We have Barry Garapedian. He is a young adult career consultant, founder of Mag 7 Consulting, author of Winning the Game of Life, the 7 Lessons You Never Learn in School, because real life, there's a whole lot of hard lessons that don't come in a textbook.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Hey, Barry.
It's great to be here, gang, and I can't wait to share some thoughts with you guys.
Okay, let's dive right in. In terms of advice for this generation, if they're about to graduate from college, if they just graduated, maybe they're heading into their senior year, what's the first thing you want them to know?
Anthony, believe it or not, this is the best time for a Gen Z to be in the marketplace.
Ooh.
Gen Z's 50 to 28, and here's why. Back in the day, it used to be your superpower was IQ. Then it transitioned later into your EQ, your emotional intelligence. Today, the new superpower is AQ, adaptability. Can you adapt into this new world of technology? There are more young minds working on technology-related AI things than ever, creating apps, having a mindset of being relentlessly useful, figuring out a problem. So I think this is a great time for young minds to be in the workforce.
Ooh, I love your perspective here. Okay, so let me hone in on a part of what you said in terms of the fact that there are a whole lot of young people coming out of school with a certain set of skills. They can use in a million different ways, obviously, but a whole lot of young people coming out of school at the same time here. Obviously, only so many jobs that will be available, but obviously they could create their own. But how do you stand out right now?
It starts with a mindset, Anita. The old school of scarcity, victimhood is not going to get you a job. Having the mindset of being relentlessly useful, in other words, creating value for someone, being a value creator. There's 3 ways you create value. There's material value, there's emotional value, and there's spiritual value. Can you create value and have that mindset of helping, being relentlessly useful? So it starts with a mindset. If you think everything's going to be handed to you, it's not going to happen. Not in this environment. So it starts with that mindset. In addition to that, that only gets you so far. What is the plan? We need to treat job hunting like a job and have strategies and metrics of numbers you're looking to hit. So there's all kinds of things we can talk to you about that. But let's just take one example, a handwritten note. You meet someone. Remember back in the day of writing handwritten notes, wax seal, dripping wax. You meet someone, creating a network. It's not done now.
Correct.
That is one micro thing that can make a huge difference when you meet someone. Think about how you guys ascended into roles that you're in right now. No one handed you anything. You had to have the confidence, self-esteem to position yourself to be in the right rooms. And so there's a lot to that.
Do you think, give us an assessment of Gen Z. You know, I would say that, at least in the mainstream on social media, there's a lot of buzz and chatter about how this generation, Gen Z, expects things to be handed to them in a way that, you know, the boomers or the Gen Xers or the millennials are like, hey, you gotta switch that mindset. Nothing's gonna be handed to you. What have you personally noticed about Gen Zers? Is there any truth to that stereotype?
Anthony, you're 100% right. So the reality is the Gen Z mindset is completely different than the millennials, which would be a different, or the baby boomers like I am. But I think the attitude is, we think of the term ROI, return on investment. Let's reframe ROI to return on impact. Can a young mind have the mindset to impact someone or help them? But the reality is most of the Gen Zs coming out of school, they're brilliant, bright, smart, academic, 4.0s, 3.87, you name it, but they don't have the soft skills like both of you have. They don't have the people skills, or we call the EQ, emotional intelligence. Why? Well, we know COVID happened. That's real.
Oh.
I wanted to dig in on
room for
that.
5 years. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
So they were available to be with people. So it's clearly part of that, but it's also the mindset that remote access, people are working in the office, they're working at home, they don't want to be around people. So it's a different game right now. And so the game right now is to be happy, fulfilled, and let's figure out lifestyle versus lifestyle. That's right. Lifestyle versus lifestyle. Do you want to live a stale life? No. You need to play offense and make things happen.
Yeah, I really wanted to drive home on that, the COVID impact of where they are in life, because the college experience that we had versus what I've seen my nephew, who's 2 years out of college, go through, it has been drastically different. But then again, I have to like put my brain together and say, well, okay, well, he went home at spring break of his freshman year and wasn't back on campus for 2.5 more years.
Yeah.
So here's one technique that your nephew could do today. It's called practice going first. In other words, be the first to initiate something. Be the first to say good morning, good afternoon, first to shake hands, first to be in that elevator asking everybody on the elevator, what floor please? And that person's pressing the buttons. What this does, it's the first step of demonstrating leadership. It's also demonstrating confidence if you're initiating. So that's a white belt version. That's the first step of developing people skills, is go first. So I would start with that with your nephew,
really like
and
that.
make it a game. You need to do 10 of these a day, 5 of these a day. Let's keep score and make it fun. Remember, kids love games. Gamify it.
But can we flip it?
Yeah, unlock those achievements.
Yeah. Can we flip it though and ask, are we as older adults, how can we help them along? But what have we done to maybe hinder them?
Well,
what are we doing?
You don't want to do too much. I call it healthy struggles, Anita. You didn't get to where you are by everyone giving you. You had to go through struggles, healthy struggles to get there. School, education, mentors, coaches. The same with our kids. If we do everything for them, they're going to miss it.
Yeah.
People on Wall Street, people in real estate, people commercial, you name it. Cold calling, rejection. It's part of the game. It's okay. And I call it fail forward. You are either winning or you're learning. There's no losing. You're either winning or learning. So the idea is it's okay to fall. You get up again. That's what both of you have done.
In terms, Barry, of staying on a job, once you do have a job, let's say they do get that first gig, okay? How long has the benchmark changed over the years for how long you should stay in that job? For example, I just want to give an example of, like, let's say everything's not perfect. What first job is perfect, right? You're just trying to get your feet wet, get used to post-college life or whatever. But I'm guessing that you have Gen Zers that may think, oh my gosh, X, Y, and Z boxes aren't checked. I'm gonna quit and find something that's a better fit. In terms of their standards for what they will accept for that first job, what's your advice for how they should kind of tune their compass? Do you advise, hey, give everything at least 6 months? Do you advise 3 months, staying in a gig for a year? You know, in my generation, there was all this concern about, you know, if you have too many things on your resume, that's bad because you'll look.
Red flag,
red flag. You'll look like a job hopper. So, what's your take on that?
You know, it's different for every kid. So I can't blindly say this is for everyone. I would say you got to work. So your first job is a stepping stone. If you want to get into the Wall Street world, you might have to do other things to get yourself in the game and to be on a team, as an example. So one, your first job is not going to be your first best thing. It's going to be a stepping stone to another opportunity to meet the right people and learning how to network. That's right. Learning how to, when you meet someone, touch phones, get their contact information, send them a hand note. Great meeting you. And then the note should be all about that other person, about empowering the other person. People don't do that anymore. And so I would suggest having a strategy, a game plan to win the game of life. There has to be a process. And of course we want the result, but it's all process driven.
Okay.
So good activities. There's no timetable on that, Anthony.
Okay.
Given a hard market right now for a lot of people, how much time do you give young people to, quote, figure it out? Like, I mean, is it 1-2 years if they've got to come back home? You know, this is a generation where you do see more people who maybe need to come back home for a year or two. Or how much time what is the window? Is it 10 years? I mean, what is the window?
No. Well, first of all, you have to figure out what is their big goal, where they want to be. I have everyone have goals, written goals, 90-day goals. We create a vision board. I call it a decision board. It's on their phone, like here. Their vision board's on their wallpaper on their phone, like mine. They see it every day. So we have a focus of where they want to be. We reverse engineer everything they have to do. I actually believe it's the people you meet and the books you read. People you meet and the books you read. That's what has turned incredibly successful kids into meeting the right people. But it's also, you have to have the ability to be in rooms where you sound together. So how do you do that? Well, you have to be reading. I have kids reading 2 books a month. Yes, we use Audible. If you don't like to read, we can do Audible. You gotta be reading. There's so much wisdom in books.
Any recommendations stand out for you in terms of books?
Gosh, I'm looking at one right now for an entrepreneur, Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. How he built Nike.
Yeah, the founder of Nike. That's right.
There's an example right there for entrepreneurial kids. For other entrepreneurs, The Gap in the Game by Dan Sullivan and Ben Hardy. Great book. 2X to 10X by Dan Sullivan and Ben Hardy. There's so many great books. And if they don't want to read, most of the kids don't want to read. Audible, 7-8 hours in the morning. The big thing also is getting these kids to be thinking. Schools don't teach extraordinary. They don't teach you how to be great. We have to take that in our own hands, meaning coaches, mentors, parents, aunts, uncles. Schools are not doing enough, guys. You know that.
Barry, we're almost out of time, but before we let you go, can you give any advice to parents who parents of college-age kids or college grads? Any blanket advice for parents out there?
Continue believing in your kids, because the biggest gift, I believe, is the I believe button, which is self-esteem. If your parents don't believe in the kids aren't going to believe in themselves. So it's all about confidence. Believe in your kids. Make investments for them from the standpoint of investing in wisdom, knowledge, mentors, coaches, and don't do too much for them. Let them earn it.
Barry Garapedian. We really could talk to you all day. Thank you so much for taking some time to chat with us today.
And thank you for what you guys are doing in the community. Awesome job, guys.
You too. Thank you very much, Barry.
Awesome
all right.
stuff.
I hope we can clip that, get it to any relevant family members in our
Parents,
lives.
guardians, everyone.
Right. Everyone, you're going to want to
village.
stick around. After this quick break, we are going to meet the 2 cutest new additions to Brookfield Zoo, Chicago, and we are talking about cubs for what is being called one of the rarest cat species on Earth.
Pretty amazing stuff.
All right, stick with us. We'll be right back.
everybody. Now comes the moment we have been waiting on. The world's rarest big cat. It is an Amur leopard, and it has given birth here in our area to 2 cubs at the Brookfield Zoo, Chicago. We got to see a little bit of the video earlier today of them snuggling, and this is just the cutest thing ever. The cute-o-meter is on high right now.
It really is. Like, it's the cute-o-meter is going to break.
Look
It's going to break. It's going to crack. So on the right side of your screen there, you're looking at Mina. Mina is 8 years old, and those are her cubs. Have they been named yet?
No, I don't think they have names
yet.
yet.
They haven't been named yet.
But they're a part of only 100 in their species worldwide.
Yeah. 100.
And we're getting a look at 3.
This is unbelievable. You know, that does kind of warm your heart when you, for example, like the bald eagles.
Yeah.
Remember how they used to be so rare to see, and now you kind of like see them every once in a while. It's still exciting.
Way more sightings now.
But like, you got to credit like the wildlife community for bringing certain species back, and hopefully Amur leopards are on their way back too, because these are, I mean, knock on wood, they're healthy.
Yeah.
They're nursing well, as you can see.
Look at what they're going to be one day.
Yeah, they are. So
I know
right
that's
now,
a part of a song from Lion King. There's a song.
That's
what I feel like when we're watching this, we're like, oh, so
it's so great. But they're okay. So as you can maybe do the math there on that footage there, that's like not a surveillance cam, but kind of a live look at a private habitat, because they're not going to be on
out
display
and about for a while.
We're told by Brookfield Zoo Chicago that until they are confident and actively exploring their surroundings, that is when. And you know Natalie Baumke is going to be out there like on day one.
You know she will. It makes me think of, you know, how we watch for the piping plovers. And we get so invested in watching their whole process, and now watching like generations of their family. And we do get to participate in names and all of that. I think with the piping plovers, I think, you know, there was like a naming contest where, you know, each time that we're able to have another round. So hopefully there will be a naming contest. I can't wait to find out some of the names that come up with them. And people have been so creative, inventive with the names that they have come up with in terms of you know, things that are relevant to their environment, or things that are significant to Chicago.
Yeah, Monty and Rose, for example.
Yeah.
Some people is like, wait, why Monty and Rose? And then you say, Montrose.
Yes.
Montrose.
Exactly.
Quick clarification though. So I guess I'm reading here, Anita, there are 70 of these species in zoos. In captivity,
like
and there are 100
worldwide.
in the wild. So there are 100 in the wild. They're actually native to eastern Russia.
Yeah.
So they're adapted for cold climates, but because of poaching and forest fires there, their population is at risk. And so, yeah, the zoo plans to introduce the cubs to visitors once they're strong, they're ready, they're confident, and supporters can help. You can actually help by donating through the zoo's Adopt an Animal program.
I love it. I love it. And again, that's just another way of us becoming invested in them.
I'm already in love.
We'll be a part of their story forever and ever. Amen. Now, can't wait to find out how things go from here. But we want them to be healthy, happy, confident, and ready to go. Can't wait to see them.
Time to hit the Reddits. Our Chicago, the Chicago subreddit. There's some interesting questions.
There's always
being
interesting
posed.
things
Always.
on Reddit. Yeah.
First, we want to show you the most Chicago scene ever. Look at this, Anita.
Oh, wow.
That's not thin crust.
You know what? The only thing that would make this better and more Chicago is if there was a rat.
Yeah, exactly.
That was
Although my
dining
friend
with
likes
them.
to call those rats with wings.
Yeah, the pigeons.
Yeah, I find them to be beautiful birds. But yes,
and sometimes when you see them that are like a variation of color.
Oh yeah.
Where you see like a brown pigeon or a white pigeon, and you're like, I do find myself fascinated with them. But yeah, very cute scene, very Chicago scene.
All right, so another question being posed on our Chicago. What is the underrated thing about living in Chicago? Kids are with their dad this weekend. I've been reflecting a bit. What is something about this city you've grown to really appreciate that outsiders might not get? Do you have an
I say
immediate
this
thought
all
here?
the time. I say this all the time. It is the beaches. Urban beaches. Because when you live in other parts of the country, and I've lived like everywhere, when you live in other parts of the country and you hear about Chicago, you never hear about the beaches.
It's a beach town. For 3-4 months of the year, it is a beach town.
You know, and to be along a beach and look back at our skyline.
Oh, it's
of
awesome.
It's just amazing. And it used to, I mean, really, when I first moved here, it would really take my breath away. Like, I would just really have to take a moment until a cyclist would come along and be like, get out of the way.
No, I can't tell you how many
like,
times
oh
I've had
my
either
God.
friends in from out of town or
Gorgeous.
people I've interviewed that said, wait, I didn't know. Wait,
Exactly.
is that an ocean?
Yeah.
No,
You're
that's
like,
a lake.
no, it's a lake.
And then some
It
people are
gives
like,
the
wait, I didn't know
vibe.
you could swim in it.
Yeah, it
No.
gives the vibe.
I think, you know, Cleveland or you know, they're not all Great
not the
Lakes are
same.
created equal. No
It's not the
offense,
same.
Cleveland viewers
Yeah.
today, but like, no, I think I agree with you, Anita. People don't realize it's a full out beach town with like beachfront bars and the lakefront trail
really
and
get it all right
crowds
here.
and volleyball, outdoor volley, beach volleyball.
Yeah,
Okay.
pro volleyball comes here.
Pro volleyball.
AVP right on the beach. Yeah.
Anything else underrated that comes to mind? I'm trying to think
Hmm.
too. Some people commented in that subreddit and I agree with this one, and that is specifically the tacos. People like some people don't realize. Like
birria?
I don't like going to other cities and trying to find Mexican food. I like the stuff that is right here in Chicago. All the taquerias around
That's
town.
big.
So I would also agree with that.
I feel like maybe aside from not so much tacos, because I have had great tacos elsewhere, but empanadas, like my empanada game has grown
Elevated
quite a
here.
bit in Chicago.
Ooh,
like
I'm gonna
like,
need some
I-
Rex. I haven't
don't think
really-
I've had that many empanadas before. I eat quite a few empanadas.
We're gonna have to
in
talk
Chicago.
offline. Do you,
Yeah.
any like for your
stuff.
go-to
There's
spots?
the Empanada Mama. You can find them at quite a few different festivals around. At Carnival, they have a fantastic empanada there. I mean, there's a lot of different places where you can get really good empanadas.
One response that I think some Europeans mentioned in this comment thread is how clean the city is. A lot of people who came from Europe have reported, wait, I didn't think that Chicago, guess what? Internationally, a lot of people think about like the crime in
That
Katy,
is
Al
an
Capone.
underrated aspect
But
of it.
like you get here downtown,
Very
it's-
clean.
We have a beautiful city.
It was one of
It's-
my first assessments, like coming here, because you think about big city, you think about New York. New
Oh
York
my
is
gosh, New York
nowhere
doesn't even
near
compare.
clean. And you get here and
They
you're
put
like,
the garbage
oh,
on the sidewalks
big
in New
yeah,
York.
it just, and you're like big city and it's clean.
Clean.
So great things, great conversations on the Reddit. Thank you for
It's
staying
always
with
fun.
us.
Isn't it always fun
Yeah.
to check in on the
Hanging-
Reddits? That's right, baby. All right, we got through our Wednesday.
Yeah.
We are going to turn it over to the 11 a.m. squad. They are in the house.
Ready
for
to
Anita
go.
Blanton. I'm going to sign off. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. More Chicago Now right after this.
welcome to the 11 o'clock hour of Chicago Now. I'm Gabriela Primus with
I'm
Tia.
Tia.
Yuli.
Yeah, it's so good to be here.
I know. We're going to talk about a lot of trending topics. One that we're going to be chatting with, one person. She found out that she was a genetic carrier for ALS and wrote this book, so helping people through maybe if they find out a similar diagnosis, help them through that, and also share with other people how to navigate those things. Also, we're talking Lollapalooza, of course, that's coming up this weekend.
It's all about Lala.
So we're talking to a photographer who's probably seen it all and is going to give us some very interesting insight on what goes on there, plus someone who's making it more, or helping make it more sustainable.
Which I think is a good thing, right?
I think so too, yeah. But first we have some trending topics to talk about.
Yeah, we got to talk about, I guess, the theme parks, which are trending right now. I was really surprised to see that Great America is one of the top searches in the Chicago area right now. And you spent some time there not too long ago.
I did. I got to ride this brand new ride. You see it right here.
There you are. You look
the
scared.
Wrath of Rakshasa. Let me tell you, Tia,
what's the name?
The Wrath of Rakshasa.
Who is that?
I know, yeah. Well, even the person who said it when we were doing the interviews, he's like, I don't know why we named it this, but here we are.
Rakshasa.
Yeah,
That's
he's like,
hard
it'll
to
catch
say.
on. It'll catch on. Super cool ride. Obviously, there's a tons of loop-de-loops, and you're going upside down. And
Are you
there's
into
this,
that?
like, super big drop. You know what? I wasn't really nervous going there. On the way there, I was like, oh, you know what? Just going on a new ride. It's a roller coaster. I like roller coasters. I get there, Tia. Actually, I get on the platform.
And you were shaking in your boots.
An hour after actually arriving at the park, and I see that drop.
And you're like, oh no.
No, this is no joke.
How did it feel?
Oh, it felt like, I think it was like a 90-degree drop, like something absolutely insane. And it's, I think one of like the largest drops or one of the fastest rides. I have to look back at it, but it was, yeah, it was crazy.
I want to play the video again because I want to know who's the person next to you. Because she
that was
looked
my
just
buddy.
as scared
that
as
was
you.
my buddy. She's with the park, and so she was going around with media folks and offering to ride with us. So giving us one, peace of mind, and two, answering some questions that obviously we weren't able to answer because we were so freaked out on the ride.
Yeah, so I guess I'm looking at this now to see exactly what people have been searching. Of course, Walt Disney World Resort tops the list of out-of-state attractions. And then also out-of-state, they were looking at Six Flags Great America and also Navy Pier. So that's impressive. Six Flags came in number 2, the second most searched attraction, and Navy Pier is ranked 8th. Are you surprised by this? Because this is looking at people from not just in our state. I know people here in Illinois were searching this, but are you surprised that people in Illinois want to go somewhere that's already here in Illinois, like Six Flags?
I think Six Flags does a great job of marketing, and they're adding a lot of new stuff fairly often. Like this ride was a big deal. I know that it was cool to see some roller coaster enthusiasts, like YouTubers, come and get a spot, and they were able to ride the ride for the first time too. And they said that Six Flags and Great America does a really good job of catching people's eye, making sure they're still known,
makes sense.
even though they're up in Gurnee. I don't know.
I think it's probably also too, things are so expensive. I looked up Walt Disney World just for like a day.
Yeah.
For one, I was like,
I'm
whoa,
curious.
over $200 for a
No
day.
way.
Yeah, looking at some of the ticket prices and how they break it down very interestingly. So it's kind of hard to decipher what's what. But overall, some tickets are like $200 for one day.
And what? There's like
If you
5
want to go,
parks?
yeah, and if you want to go multiple days, so it makes sense that people would be looking up local because then
I agree.
it's more affordable.
And you know what? It actually surprises me that Navy Pier isn't higher because it's just a fun attraction. When people have visitors, I feel like that's one of the first places you think of is going to Navy Pier.
Have you ever done the Ferris wheel?
No, I have not done the Ferris
I
wheel.
did, and I'll never forget it. Good thing you don't have video of that.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it was bad.
But it exists, you're saying?
No,
the
there's
video
no
exists?
video
Oh,
that
okay,
exists,
well,
thank God.
Well,
And
maybe we'll have to make a field trip then.
it was really, yeah, we should do
We
it.
should. I think that'd be fun.
And record it.
Because it's one of those that like moves as it goes round and round.
Yeah.
It also like shifts.
Don't let it be windy.
I remember doing that actually at California Adventure in Southern California, which is connected to Disneyland. I was traumatized.
That's what I'm
Traumatized.
saying. So we got to make sure we check the forecast too. You can't go up there when it's windy because it is literally an experience. You will be part of the Windy City, literally.
Have you taken Story on any like rides? Any
They won't let her because
scary-ish?
she's too little.
She's too little.
Yeah, we gotta wait a while.
Do you think?
But
she's
I don't
gonna
know.
be
I
good?
think she'd be cool with it. She's kind of like, I don't want to use the word gangsta, but she's very strong. You know, to
I
be a
would
little
she's so
2-year-old.
sweet,
She's
yeah.
she's very sweet, but don't play with her. I dropped her off at school this morning, and this little girl put just a little toy in front of her. She was ready to have breakfast, and she hit the table. No. And I was like, oh, you are a little boss.
She's not playing.
No, she's not playing. Okay, what else we got? We don't want to talk about her.
So we have the Dogue competition. It's hosted by Vogue, and you can probably kind of guess what this is about, but let me read it here. Vogue has launched an adorable competition giving dog owners a chance for their pup to be the next Dogue cover star, okay? So one lucky dog will land their own digital cover, and it's going to launch, I think August 19th is when canines can be submitted. Applying is easy, I guess.
Yeah, you just download the Vogue app and head over there before it's, applying? Yeah, it says before it's in fashion. It's in the Dogue group chat and submit your favorite photo of your dog. Okay, so I had a hard time saying this at first. I kept looking at this note card, Dogue. In my mind, I couldn't process it, but it makes sense. People treat their dogs like their kids.
Oh yeah, and we see some of these celebrities go off. Actually, I'd like to see some of the pictures that come with this. But I thought this was interesting. So this is the evaluation. This is how it's judged. So
go ahead.
Evaluating photo composition is 50%. So pretty much is how you take the picture, right? I would think like if you hire a photographer, your chances are probably a little bit better.
Or if your dog really knows how to pose.
Well, then it says the dog's personality 25%. So I would think that's more like, yeah, facial
What is the dog gonna do? Smile and like wave?
I don't know.
Like what does that classify as? What are we looking at?
Overall dogeness, 25%. Oh, okay. All right, here's some friends right here.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I mean, no shade. They're beautiful dogs, but
is this,
I'm not.
is this
they're
Anna
not
Winters?
Dogen.
Is this Anna Winters?
Yes, it is.
Three
doodles. Well, wait.
And then wait, I want to see Mariah Carey's trio of Russell.
Well, wait, that's no
Jack
doodles.
Russell
All of
Terriers.
those weren't doodles.
I thought they were. No, were they poodles?
No, one kind of looked like a German Shepherd. Not a German Shepherd, but a golden. Oh, maybe golden retriever. Okay.
Here's the thing,
Doodle.
Tia.
Got it.
There
okay.
are so many mixes of dog breeds. I can't keep up.
I can't either.
I see a dog and I just assume nowadays it's a doodle because it seems like everyone and their mom.
Oh,
has a
some
doodle.
terrier of sorts.
Yeah, that's exactly.
But what are they looking for? I mean, I don't know. Like I didn't see it in the picture. I'm not hating on. Now that is dogeness.
Yeah,
whose dog is that? That's it. Oh, that's Mariah. Is that Mariah
has to be
Carey?
Mariah's.
Carey's,
Yeah,
Jack Russell.
That's on brand.
Yeah, and it's the pose. Definitely.
Yeah,
that's
he
her
has
dog.
dogeness. I would say that's dogeness.
Yeah,
right
he's
there.
hitting a grand piano. Come on.
Yeah. So you're saying that people at home are going to have to compete with that?
Well,
That would be crazy.
hopefully they don't AI it. I mean, because that's possible too. But what I will say is, I guess you got to be clever in the posing.
I guess so.
Yeah, and buy a nice polo Ralph
Make
Lauren
something-
sweater,
I
because
don't
that's
know.
what that.
Put a little bit of what do you call those? Build-A-Bear doll
Yeah, clothes.
clothes. I used to put those on my Chihuahua when I was growing up.
We'll have to see those pictures.
Yeah.
Interesting.
If we can do dogs that have passed away, I think I have a winner.
Oh,
just
that's
so
a
everyone
cutie.
knows.
Your
Oh
dog
my
passed
gosh.
away. I'm sorry to hear
Oh,
that.
well, years ago. I'm not over it.
I mean, okay.
I still cry at night about it.
Yeah, that's tough. Now, what do you think about this dog?
Yeah, he's a boss.
I mean,
he or she.
I don't know whose dog this is, but I've seen this dog in Chicago. I mean, every Chicagoan has a dog, no shade to whoever owns this dog, that looks similar. So, I mean, I don't see the dogeness there either. It's a beautiful dog.
This is what I'm saying. This looks like 6 different breeds to me because I just don't know breeds that well. It looks like maybe a pit bull. It could be like a Cane Corso, if that's how you pronounce it. But
Sure,
a beautiful
let's go with
dog
that.
regardless, okay?
Beautiful. Good luck on the Dogue.
Do you have a dog?
Okay. I have everybody want to go down this road with me about my dog. So
Okay.
I adopted a dog when I worked in California. That was 2017. I adopted this dog. His name is Wrigley. He's adorable. He's a Jack Russell Terrier mix. And my parents came to live with me when they were getting their house ready to move. And once they left, the dog freaked out. Because they are retired and had time on their hands to be around, and here we are, always here. The dog freaked out. I'm talking eating up part of the couch, I was like, man, what does paper towel taste like? Eating paper towels. And I was like, well, what's going on? So took the dog to the vet. Turns out it's a form of depression. So they suggested that the dog resumes its regular lifestyle that it became accustomed to. Well, it was accustomed to my parents. So the dog now lives with my parents.
You're like, okay, so
Yeah,
here's
for
a
the
gift.
dog's betterment.
Yes, okay.
I'm not a bad parent. Okay, don't come DMing me.
You don't want your dog eating paper
it's for the
towels.
now, would I send? Somebody asked me, well, would you send your child if your daughter had that reaction? I was like, no.
Well, she's human, for one.
But I mean, my dog, yeah. I still pay the doggy insurance. It's on my tab.
Yeah, there you go. You're doing
I'm
it
doing
all.
my
Yeah,
part.
you're
I'm
doing
not
your
an
part.
absentee mother after all. Okay, we got to talk about this because this has been trending online.
Okay.
And I went to look at the pictures because I saw like the captions, Katy Perry and Justin Trudeau, and I'm like, is this real? I think. Are they dating or are they just hanging out? Yeah, they're smiling at each other, but we haven't really, I didn't see any pictures of them like kissing or like anything that indicated being booed up. I mean, why do we care?
I know. Well, for one, Tia, I honestly thought that she was still with Orlando Bloom.
No.
So I didn't even know that she was out of the relationship with him, to be honest with you.
But is she? They could just be friends.
I think so too. And didn't we have a quote or like the chef saying to TMZ, hey, it looks like it was just a friendly dinner? Can't we trust that?
Why? No, probably not. But my question is, why can't, when I saw the pictures, why is it that a man and a woman can't be friends?
No.
Why can't we just assume that it's a friendship? Like they weren't, even I think the paparazzi said they didn't do anything that indicated that there was more to it. Is it because they're both attractive and we just assume that it must be something going on behind closed doors?
I think people just want to make up stuff to make their own lives more interesting.
What do you think? Do you think it would be interesting dating a prime minister?
I mean, yeah.
You do?
Interesting? Like, what do you mean? Like, you'd be like jetting me everywhere. But I guess if you're Katy Perry, though, you're jetting everywhere anyways, right?
True. I don't think I would want all the, don't they come with security?
Yeah, probably.
Which I'm sure she's used to anyway. But I would if you were dating, right, and you're having a good night together, they're outside the door. That would be so weird.
But you know what?
I'm not saying the bedroom door, but I'm saying like
I'll be honest with you,
there.
this is the first time I'm ever thinking of this. I never thought of myself like, hey, you know what? Let me think back and if I were in a relationship with an ex-prime minister, what would my life be like?
I don't think it's something I would want.
I don't think so either.
No.
I'm going to reflect on it. I'll get back to you tomorrow, okay? How about that?
Well, I'm looking at this. It literally, TMZ said they show no PDA and the vibe was just two friends enjoying a meal. What is wrong with that? They had lamb gnocchi. Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. I didn't even know gnocchi came in with lamb.
I changed my mind. Maybe for the food in the cool restaurants, I would date a prime minister.
Lobster, lamb gnocchi,
Although I'm
beef
getting married,
tartare.
so I don't know if he'd be happy with that.
I mean, he might let you go on a date with Justin
Yeah,
Trudeau
true,
for
maybe.
once, just to have, a conversation. I don't know. We could talk about this all day. We got a lot more to talk about. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back. We are talking about Lollapalooza. I like saying that. It really rolls
It is
off the
such
tongue
a
well.
fun name, isn't it?
Lollapalooza. Okay, we got to get serious though. We're talking with Jake Peary, C3 Director of Operations. Thank you so much for joining us on Chicago Now.
Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
Yeah, it's great to talk about this because, as we all know, for the very first time in history last year, Lollapalooza was up there for having the main stage be totally powered by hybrid power, a battery system. This is pretty remarkable. Tell us about it and how it came to be.
Yeah, we have always prided ourselves in trying to be more sustainable here at Lollapalooza and across all of our festivals. And over the years, we've been trying to develop new technologies and work with suppliers on cutting edge systems that are out there. And a couple of years ago, Billie Eilish came in and did her set powered on a solar powered battery system. And we had been working on the initiative as well. And so last year we brought in this system, and essentially what it is like a hybrid car that's driving down the road. So it's batteries that are powering every single guitar amp, every single speaker, every single microphone that's on the stage. It's powering all of it. And when those batteries reach a state of depletion, they turn the generators on that they're plugged into. They turn them on, they get charged, they reach a state of charge, and then they automatically turn the generators off. And through that, it saves, last year what we saw was upwards of 67% reduction in the runtime of those generators, where normally they'd be running 24 hours a day for 8 or 9 days. They're running for a few hours here and a few hours there. And we're able to drastically cut our emissions, our fuel usage, cleaner air, cleaner energy. And so we're excited with our partners, Green Nation and Reverb, to come back this year and expand on the effort, continue our learnings, and just try to improve.
And the audience doesn't notice any difference, do they?
That's the beautiful thing, is to them, there is no difference in the show. There is no difference in the performances. The difference is just backstage, and nobody would notice it unless we talk about it. And it's something that is near and dear to our mission, and we want to be able to build a more sustainable future. And through that, this is one of the ways we're able to do it.
Jake, I noticed you said all of those batteries. So how many little batteries are we talking about to do all of this?
They're actually big batteries.
Okay.
So don't think about the batteries you put into your remote control. They're very big, large batteries. There's 4 of them in total, and they're paired with biodiesel fueled generators. And in total, we have over 1.5 megawatts of power that we can distribute, that's very technical, I know, but it's able to power thousands of homes if you were to compare it. So it's a big system, it's a big stage with lots of big, world-class performers. And so we bring out the big guns, and it's a big system. So there's 4 batteries in total.
And how are they transported here? Is this a situation where they're on the back of a semi and that's how they make it to Chicago?
That's right. They're that big. So 2 of them go per semi, and so there's 2 semi trailers that house them, and they just live on the back of it next to the generators, which are also fairly large, the size of a semi trailer.
Interesting. So are you guys planning, obviously, to bring this to other stages, not just the main stage in the future?
That's the plan, and that's the goal. And as I mentioned, we've been experimenting with it, and we've been pushing ourselves, and we've done this at other festivals, and the industry as a whole is experimenting with it and building more trust in it. I think what we did last year really proved the reliability of technology like this. And so we, as a festival producer, are gaining more confidence in it. I think the industry is. And so the goal, in the future is that we take these systems, site-wide, festival-wide, and we have it everywhere and make big, big inroads to our reduction in emissions.
Can you talk about the fact that, okay, this is one level of sustainability. What else is being done behind the scenes, maybe to make this particular festival more sustainable in the future, or maybe even right now?
Absolutely. Like I said, we're trying to be better every year. And we have a number of initiatives that exist at Lollapalooza, everything from our Rock and Recycle program, which incentivizes our patrons to collect aluminum cans and aluminum cups and bring them back for a custom, unique t-shirt, festival shirt that you can only get through the Rock and Recycle program. We have our diverted attendants that are at specific compost locations through Chowtown that educate the patron on what streams the different materials that they have, whether it's food materials, whether it's cups, whether it's cans, to make sure that they go in the right streams. The purpose of that is to purify those streams as much as possible, increase our diversion out of landfills. We have reusable water fill stations everywhere. For any patron coming down a site, bring your empty reusable water bottle or your Camelback. We have free water stations all throughout the park. That limits the need for individual use water containers. We have material recovery programs. So we collect a lot of material that's used in the construction of this, and we get it back into the community for people that are in need. And we also work with a great partner, Musically Fed, to get some of the food that doesn't go to waste after each day of the show, and we get it in the hands of people in the community that are in need.
That's some good news.
Yeah.
I'm really happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of need out there right now.
So back to the hybrid battery system, I feel like Lollapalooza is one of the festivals or only festivals I've heard of, using this, implementing it. Is it because it's more expensive, even though, yes, it does save a lot on the back end?
It is expensive. I think that we're at a point in the journey that supply and demand haven't equalized yet, that there's a lot of demand for it. We're not the only ones that are pushing for the technology. I think the industry as a whole and the sports entertainment industry as a whole is pushing for it. And the supply and the people that understand how to bring this to a temporary event infrastructure is in limited supply. So there is a cost to it, and it's getting more popular, and so that cost is slowly coming down. It's being more readily available. But again, it's something that we care deeply about. We have goals internally for ourselves at C3, at Lollapalooza, at Live Nation. And we've partnered with the right partners, with Green Nation and with Reverb, that again care about these types of initiatives and helping us reach those goals. So we've, put our money where our mouth is and have invested in this because it's important to all of us.
Now, Jake, I know you'll be working, but here's my question to you. Is there anyone you look forward to at least hearing? Maybe you can't sit there and watch at the stage, but anyone you look forward to hearing during the festival?
Well, I'm excited for all the performers. I think Lollapalooza is so unique in that you can see so many different genres of music. I myself am excited to see Korn. I'm a 90s kid, so I'm excited to go see them. I haven't seen them before, but it's an amazing weekend with so much great music that to single out one is hard, but I guess that would be it for me.
I think I already know the answer to this, but some people's performances are crazy. We hear about Katy Perry. Of course, you can't really do this at Lollapalooza, but flying on that butterfly
Yes.
or whatever it was, Beyonce, of course.
On the horse.
There's some crazy stuff that happens, and it takes a lot of power. I'm guessing that even though you're on a hybrid battery system, it doesn't really matter. They can do as much as they want.
Absolutely. Our goal is it's twofold essentially. We want to make sure to reduce our emissions and continue with our initiatives and not sacrifice any level of the performance or production and give the artists everything they need to bring their best show to Lollapalooza. So we ask no questions. They're able to do what they need to do, and we're here to supply clean energy.
Jake, any secrets you can give away that's going to happen this year that maybe people have never seen before?
I'm sworn to secrecy, but I can tell you it's going to be an exciting, jam-packed weekend. I can tell you that.
Okay. Well, what about back on? I'm just curious because I'm thinking about all these productions.
Yeah.
Is there something, Jake, that you've ran into or your team has run into and you're like, the artist wants to do what?
And we can do it, or maybe we can.
Sure, that happens all the time. Because I think that the artists are so creative and they're always trying to excite and recreate what they're doing. And we're used to it. It's just the reality of the world that we live in, building temporary events. Nothing's ever the same. There's always challenges. It's part of what is exciting about the job. and we love the challenge and we love overcoming and building solutions.
I love that you're so professional about it.
He is.
And you're like so tight-lipped about everything. I absolutely love it. I know who to hire to keep my secrets. I would hire Jake Perry.
But Jake, let's talk off air about exactly what
Sure.
these requests were. Okay.
I'll tell you when we get done talking to Jake.
Okay.
I know some of them.
All
Yeah.
right. All right.
Jake, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much. Very excited. See everybody out here this weekend.
Okay.
And
we
I
can't
love
wait
the
for
mustache.
That,
Thank
and we
you.
can't wait for our VIP tickets that you're gonna gift us.
Look at this one.
We're really excited.
I'll see you
All right,
there.
so thank
I'll see you
We'll
there.
see you later.
Okay, see ya.
All right, so I was going to say, since Jake is gone now.
Okay.
It
He's not
doesn't-
part of this. Let's make that clear.
No, it has nothing to do with Jake, and actually it has nothing to do with Lollapalooza. So there was, real quick, I was one of the hosts for when NBA All-Star happened
Yeah.
at one of the venues, which happened to be Navy Pier, and they were going to have this big performer. Of course, you can go and look this up if you choose. And that performer had a writer. A writer is basically all of their demands of what they kind of want behind the stage. And this particular performer, I don't remember if it was Skittles or M&Ms, wanted all of them to be one color. That didn't exist. So someone would have had to buy a huge bag of and separate one by one.
No
Then
way.
they wanted 2 heated beds for their 2 pugs. I think they were pugs. And then they only would let the pugs drink a very high-end kind of water. It was just very interesting. And I was like, well, maybe I should be a celebrity to have these kind of demands.
No kidding.
It was unbelievable. And the staff had to go out and fulfill what was on the list. That was their gig.
You know when, and I just ask for a different camera angle sometimes.
And
with
it's
our
like,
photographers.
people are
And
like,
we can't make it happen.
Don't tell me what to do. Yeah. Very interesting stuff. Okay, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about a very important topic, slow the show down a little bit. ALS, of course, you've seen the challenges, but you haven't seen the challenge of actually having to live with it. And we're going to talk to somebody all about it coming up next.
Welcome back to Chicago Now. What would you do if you found out that you had a debilitating disease like ALS? Well, our next guest discovered just that and decided to become an advocate for people who are suffering with the disease. We have Mindy Erlob, who's sharing her new book, and it's titled Last Nerve, A Memoir of Illness and the Endurance of Family. Mindy, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you coming and sharing your story. So tell us about how this came about and some of your story.
Well, in 2018, when my mother was battling ALS, which is a fatal neurodegenerative disease, my husband was going through stage 4 lymphoma. He was going through chemotherapy, and I had a child who was really suffering, and I had a second child who was only 12 years old, and things were very overwhelming for me. I started keeping this journal and talking about how hard it was, and all of a sudden, I made this decision to take the genetic test to find out if I carried the gene for ALS, because I knew that my mother's father had passed away from it, and I knew it must be genetic. And so I did the test. I found out that I carried the gene C9orf72, that my two kids were at genetic risk for developing ALS, that I was at risk. And so, one thing led to another. I joined a bunch of longitudinal research studies and kept journaling about it. And then I was like, wait, I think there's a book in here. And realized, that my struggle wasn't just mine alone, that there are thousands of people carrying genes for fatal neurodegenerative diseases.
Walk us through your book. Someone that may have never heard of your book before, what are in those pages? What's inside?
Well, I mean, basically, it's kind of a sandwich generation memoir. It's really about, when you're in your midlife and you're taking care of children who might be struggling, and you might be taking care of parents who may be dying or sick, and then you realize, oh, my body is not infallible. We all have things that can hurt us, and so when things get sort of overwhelming, this is that kind of book. And how does one survive this and actually thrive?
I want to ask you this because we've all seen the ALS challenges that have gone on, where people are on social media doing, being hosed down. That came back. People have experienced the ice bucket challenge. That came back around. Very trendy things that people are doing, maybe not really understanding what ALS is all about, but in some cases still raising money for the cause. What has been your particular mission of letting people know about ALS?
Well, I mean, first of all, anytime anyone asks me to appear, like on a news show or on a committee, I say yes. So I say yes a lot. Being part of longitudinal research means me flying all over the country and giving parts of my body. And so you get to know researchers pretty well when you do that. And, I sat on a committee that wrote a report, Living with ALS, that was from the National Academies of Science, Engineering, and Medicine. And, I testified before the FDA. And I think this is the idea, is that, the more you talk about it, the more it's demystified for people. And most people don't understand that, there are thousands of people living with ALS, but of those thousands, 15% of us carry genes that cause ALS and other things like frontotemporal degeneration. So, I think that just being as loud as I can, it helps. And it also helps to go and talk to politicians about, funding research for medicine.
Yeah, we read earlier that you've been part of some of those research studies for the search for a cure for ALS. Do you see any new breakthroughs or innovations in the horizon?
Absolutely. Recently, within the last 2 years, a drug came out called Qalsody, and it targets one of the other genes, SOD1, and they've seen improvements in people with SOD1 ALS. And, for me, that just is going to crack things open. And, I'm hearing from researchers who I'm friends with that there are things regarding CRISPR that are potentially on the way, and that's very exciting. They're also finding that certain genes are not as penetrant, meaning that sometimes you don't develop ALS even though you might have a gene for it.
Let me ask you this. You said that you've been participating in these studies, giving parts of your body. Someone may be out there right now, maybe they are a carrier and they just haven't gone as deep as you have and tried to help find this cure. Walk me through what participating in some of these studies actually looks like.
Well, like the easiest parts are things like speech studies, where you just talk to a computer and it follows your progression of your speech over time. Um, there are other things like giving blood, which is slightly more invasive. And then there are the sort of like really heavy hitting things like giving, like skin samples so that they can develop ALS and, give cells ALS and then try to cure it. The sort of gnarliest thing is doing lumbar punctures, spinal taps, and not a lot of people like to sign up for those things, but I do it because I have two kids that could develop these diseases, and not only that, but I don't really necessarily want ALS. So yeah, I mean, this is why I do it.
Yeah, it must be some hard conversations having, your kids also be a part of this. Uh, Do they see you doing these research studies and say maybe one day that they'd like to do that, or are they kind of just watching and admiring you from afar?
One of my kids has chosen, to not think about it, which is probably a great thing. He's 21, he's got other stuff to do. My younger son has already started participating in research. He doesn't know his genetic status, but, that's good. I want him to live his life. And, my kids knew that I was an activist already. I have written other activism books, and this just happens to be more personal. I'm excited because I have one of my kids is coming with me actually to Chicago next week. I'm going to be presenting a book talk at the Secret World Bookshop in Highland Park on Saturday the 9th. And so the fact that he kind of flies across the country with me to support me, it just means so much to me. And, he's kind of a humanitarian himself, which is great.
Someone that has now heard your story that may want to come to that event in Highland Park, what exactly will they see? And will your book be for sale there as well?
Yes, my book will be for sale there. There'll be a Q&A. I will do a little, reading from the prologue, and anybody who has questions about ALS or FTD or C9 ORF72, which is the gene that I carry, should come out and see it. And we're going to do a little after party at a Kurt's Cafe in Highland Park. So it's actually going to be a really fun event, and I'll be there signing copies and saying hello to everybody. So thank you.
Absolutely. Well, Mindy, I love everything that you had to say. Thank you so much for sharing part of your journey with us today.
Thanks for having me on.
All right, it was a
Yes,
pleasure.
thank you, Mindy.
Yeah, very insightful there.
Inspiring story.
Yeah, very inspiring story and very personal. So it was very nice of her to come on and share that with us. All right, we're going to talk to someone else who has probably a lot of stories. Her name is Selena Vergrazzi, and she is a photographer behind the scenes at Lollapalooza. We're going to talk to her coming up next.
Welcome back to Chicago Now. Tia, you know what weekend it is.
Yes, it is Lollapalooza. I mean, who doesn't know?
No kidding.
If you drive or walk around downtown Chicago, you know Lollapalooza's in town.
Exactly. We're going to see the outfits. We're going to probably hear the bands even from here at
Or
Lake
no
Michigan.
outfits.
Or no outfits, excuse me. Yep, that's very true. And yeah, we get to see some of these headliners kind of make a splash here in our city, which is always cool to see and fall in love with it as much as we do.
Yeah, it's always interesting when I come in off of Lakeshore Drive during Lollapalooza week, which I think I've covered it just about every year that I've lived here, been back home here, which is about 7 years or so. It's always interesting to see like the older people riding their bikes along Michigan Avenue not Michigan Avenue, Lakeshore Drive, that may not have heard these artists before.
Yeah.
And then some of them pull over because traffic is slow going. And they pull over and they're like listening like, oh, okay. Like newfound moments. That's always interesting to me. But yeah, I've covered it. I don't even know how many times now. I've never gone.
Never gone in your personal
Never
time.
gone
Okay.
as a spectator, only as a journalist. And I've seen some stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Too much stuff. And
I've
we'll
been
leave
a
it
couple
at
times,
that.
but it's been a few years. I went when Ariana Grande was a headliner. I think I
love
got
her.
tickets, and she was great on stage. I know that we talked to try to get from Jake about some of the requests from some of the artists on what they like to do for their performances. Who else did I see? I've been lucky enough to go to a lot of music festivals, and sometimes it's sad, but it gets kind of like
It like all
combobulated.
comes together.
Yeah, all comes together.
I have on her perfume today.
You do.
Yeah,
Actually, you know
Ariana.
what? That's so funny because as soon as you came in, I was going to compliment you on your perfume.
Oh,
but
thank
we
you.
had
I
to
love her
grab a bunch of
perfumes.
stuff. So I've been a couple times. Every time I went, it was blazing hot. So you know what? This weekend seems good because of that and the chance for it to be really hot or raining. I don't know if I'm going to buy tickets again.
Well, if you do go, you'll just be in the droves of people that also decide to wear no clothes, because if you're telling me it's going to be hot, I mean, why even bother completely? Okay, I don't know the nudity laws. Don't follow me on that. Okay, we got to talk to somebody that has also seen it all. She's a photographer. Her name is Selena Fergrassi, and she's been doing Lollapalooza for the last 20 years. Did I get your last name right? You're muted, I think. I think you're muted.
You might be.
There we go. Sorry.
What did you say?
Yes,
did I
you
get
did.
it right? Oh, look at me. I'm always so proud when I don't get to talk to somebody first and I get it right. You're also a writer. I saw that too, which I thought was really interesting. Okay, so we got to start from the basis. You've been doing this for the last 20 years. What was it like? How did you end up covering it the first time around?
Oh my gosh, it was 2009. So I've been going as a fan since 2007, but professionally 2009. It was overwhelming, to say the least. And 2009 was a really big year. Jane's Addiction had just reunited with their original lineup. They had like helicopter stunts. Lou Reed was there. So it was a really exciting year.
Okay, so how has it like progressed during the years? Because we were talking to one of our coworkers off screen here, and she said like the first year, was super chill. It used to be pretty like fairly casual. You could get in with maybe a fake ID.
Less people.
I mean, take us through these years and what you've seen.
Yeah, it's incredible. I actually just wrote an essay for the Sun-Times about what has happened in the past 20 years. This year is 20 years it's been in Chicago. And that first year, it was $125 for the weekend.
Wow.
There was 66,000 people, which if you consider there's like 250,000 now, there's only 5 stages. So it's very different. It's doubled or tripled in attendance and stages and bands. You have the Perry's stage now, which is a whole thing in itself where people just park it if they like EDM. So it's become a destination. There's just a lot to do that weekend. Even if you're not really into all of the music, all the activations that are there, the buzz downtown, Lollapalooza is just like the highlight of the summer.
Okay, so I got to ask you this. I'm always the wild card in these interviews. What is the wildest, or AKA the craziest thing, Selena, that you have ever seen?
Okay, so right away jumping into my mind is 2 years ago, Jared Leto with 30 Seconds to Mars. They performed. I thought he was going to die. He jumped from like the roof of the stage into the crowd. I didn't see his bungee cord at first. So I was like, what is this man doing? That was insane. I think Chappell Roan's crowd last year too. I have never seen a crowd that big at Lala or anywhere in my life. It was incredible, especially for a new artist to bring in that many people.
I think that honestly put her kind of on the map, especially
Yeah,
here
I
in
agree.
Chicago. People saw that crowd and were like, okay, this is someone we need to start paying attention to. We see some of your great pictures there. What are you looking for when you're
Behind
you know,
the
behind
lens?
the scenes and behind the lens? Are you wanting to capture the person on stage? Are you looking for certain people in the crowd? What is it?
So I can't take credit for those. That's all the wonderful staff at the Chicago Sun-Times. I just write for the paper, but I work very closely with the photo team. We're always catching up in the media tent, talking about like any kind of rumors we heard for special appearances, where we have to go. And they are just unbelievable talents in capturing the moment, you know, in the photo pit for the concerts and performances, but also of the crowd and just really capturing the vibe of the whole weekend. Yeah.
What would you say in terms of performances has been, let's go top 3?
Oh gosh. You
I
guys are
know
putting
that's
me on the
probably
spot.
hard.
Yeah, you know what? I will say, you know, Ozzy's on my mind today. Of course, he just passed. They did the funeral. Black Sabbath in 2012 was incredible. I think Lollapalooza does a great job of bringing in the legacy acts. 2015, Paul McCartney and Metallica, that was insane. Bringing in the legacy acts, but also bringing in newer talent. 2007, I unfortunately didn't see her, but it's now Lore, Amy Winehouse, performing at Lollapalooza, one of her only US appearances, festival appearances before she died, unfortunately. But one moment that really sticks out to me was in 2021. We had just come back from COVID. One of the very first big events was Lollapalooza in the city. Black Pumas played, and in fact, Lori Lightfoot had introduced them. And when they did their big anthemic song Colors, which is very much about people coming together, I cried. It was a beautiful moment of unity when we really needed it.
We need that now too. So yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with
Yeah.
you.
Okay, back on like crazy situations that have happened. Weather, you know, was always at play. I was telling
Yes.
Tia, like, you know, every time I've gone, it's just been super hot. I know
Or it's
that,
rained
or
before.
or you deal with a storm. So how has weather played a part in some of your experiences?
You know what? I think prayers worked this summer for the weather this weekend because I have never been to a Lollapalooza when it's been 70 degrees and it's been brutal this summer. So I've been very concerned. So thank goodness we have good weather. Yeah, you know, Lollapalooza does a great job of handling it well. Like there's a lot of advance notice for people to exit if there are evacuations, which there have been in the past. The one year that I can really remember is 2011 with those insane rainstorms. They didn't evacuate, but Foo Fighters played in a deluge. There's amazing photography from that, and it actually ended up tearing up the park and cost like 1 million to repair. But you know, the city paid it. I'm sorry, Lollapalooza paid it. And but yeah, so weather, I mean, we live in Chicago. You have to be ready for literally all 4 seasons when you go to Lolla. So bring a hoodie, bring a poncho, just be ready.
That's what I was going to ask you. When your day starts, when you've gone to Lolla, what time does it start? What time does it end? And then how do you dress? Because I'm guessing you're out there in some cases longer than the people that are there to actually watch the concerts.
And you want to look good.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's the moment, right? I'm there from like gates opening around like noon. I'm there for the first performers. I'm there a little bit before, and I stay for the headliners. So I'm there all day long, all 4 days. But I mean, there's a reward in that, right? Like I think you want to go for the headliners. You love Olivia, you love Sabrina, but you've got to go for the early acts. They're going to be the headliners at some point in the future. You're going to catch them early. You're going to see someone who's going to surprise you. So I'm there all day long. I highly recommend it. I say layer, like every time, everyone in Chicago knows this, right? You wear your shorts, your t-shirt, bring a hoodie, bring leggings if you have to. I mean, there's porta potties, but you can change if you need to. So just be prepared.
You mentioned seeing people kind of early on in their career and then them kind of going to the main stage or getting pretty close to it. Who have you seen that started there and now they're like almost like a household name, or they are?
Oh, there's a few. And hot tip, if you're going to Lollapalooza, go to the BMI stage. First of all, it's the shady area in Grant Park. There's a ton of trees there. Secondly, it's where people debut. So Lady Gaga in 2007 with Lady Starlight was there.
Wow.
You had, yeah, Kesha debuted there. Chance the Rapper, Vic Mensa, the list goes on and on. They really have their pulse on who's going to break and they book them first. So definitely go to the BMI stage. And I mean, it's cool because like Chappell Roan, she probably would have been on that stage even like last year or the year before, but she grew in real time. And so it's just, you never know where you're going to catch the artist in their career cycle.
Selena, did you already tell us who are you looking forward to seeing this year?
Okay, so all the female talent on this lineup is really, really special. It's very unique for a festival to book almost half of its headliners as women. So definitely Sabrina, Olivia, you're not going to go wrong there. I'm actually really excited for a band out of the UK called Wonder Horse. If you love like 90s big guitar riffs, kind of shoegazy, and some songs, they're fantastic. Looking forward to them. Doechii, you have to see Doechii. She's going to be the Chapel Roan of this year, I think. She's going to bring in a huge, huge crowd. Tyler, the Creator, just launched a brand new album like a week ago, so he probably will have something really, really special at the event. And Twice, if you like K-pop, Twice is going to be here. And Lala does a great job of bringing in global acts that you really don't have a chance to see other times throughout the year. So really check the schedule for those.
Very true. Also, something you don't get to see throughout the year, people dressed in very interesting attire. What is the most interesting outfit that you think you've ever seen by someone in attendance? Or maybe it wasn't really an outfit at all.
Oh my goodness. I have seen it all there. Probably stuff that wouldn't even qualify as clothing. But I love that, right? It's like your chance to let your freak flag fly. Wear what you want. No one's going to judge you there. People are going to applaud you. They're going to want to take photos of you. So just be yourself at Lollapalooza. I think when you have performers like Sabrina, she's very feminine baby doll. You know, we're going to see a ton of that. A lot of pink in her crowd. I think people tend to dress for the performer a lot of times. You want to copy their style a little bit. And so I think we'll see a lot of that this year.
I think that's true. I like that freak flag.
Let
it fly.
that.
Let it fly.
I'm gonna start letting it fly on this show.
Honestly, hey, hey, do they will they stop people if they're maybe wearing a little bit too little as they're coming in, or are they just letting anyone in?
I haven't seen that, so I don't think so. I think it's you can be you.
We can test it.
We can test it.
I don't know. I've never seen that. You know, media, we have like a separate entrance we have to go through because we have our laptops and stuff with us. But I don't really know what's going on at the main gates. But there's definitely a lot of people who are wearing a lot of really interesting outfits, and I don't think they stop you. I don't know.
I feel like your playlist would be amazing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you've seen and heard it all at this point.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of Lala is that no matter what you're into, you can find it there. You can still find the rock acts that throw back to their heyday. You can find a ton of pop, a ton of hip hop, EDM. You can find singer-songwriters. Like the lineup is overwhelming. There's 170 bands. And if you need some tips, I interviewed some experts, a brand new story today in Sun Times, who give me their daily lineup. So if you want a curated kind of focus for what you should see, definitely check that out. But definitely do your research. Like try to look through the lineup and look at band names that are interesting. Go look them up and just walk around and find where your ear takes you is my biggest tip.
Yeah. Go ahead. I was going to say, I started reading your article before I came up here, and I was like, I was really intrigued. That's how I knew that you had done some writing recently after starting to read it. Yeah.
I do want to talk, this is like just off topic a little bit, but how about the food? You know, do you feel like there's good options there? I think I remember people like saying how the food is always a hit and it hits a spot when you're really hungry in the sun.
And if you've been drinking.
And if you've been drinking or doing other
things.
things.
I mean, I feel like it mirrors Taste of Chicago, or at least what Taste of Chicago maybe used to be, where all along Columbus Drive, there's a ton of food vendors. So, and they're all mostly like local people. So you can go over to Billy Goat or get a rainbow cone or find, Connie's Pizza, I think is the pizza vendor there. So there's something for every appetite, even if you're not even that really hungry. I think they have smoothies. They used to partner with Graham Elliott on Chowhound for Lala. They don't really do that anymore, but they've kept up that curation of the food as well.
If you can't tell I'm hungry, that's why I asked that.
It's that time, yeah.
Real quick before we let you go, where can people follow you so that they can see your work?
Oh, I would love that. Well, I'll be covering all weekend long. So if you want some live recaps of all the things happening at Lala, go to Chicago Sun-Times. I'm on all social media at Selena Fergassi.
It was great meeting you. A lot of
Awesome,
fun.
Selena. Yeah, you're a cool person.
Yeah, I wanted you in studio.
Also, I want to see your whole outfit because I'm loving the sleeves that you have. But do you mind? I mean.
Oh gosh, I don't know if I should stand up. I'm
sorry, you're right.
I
forgot that's that day and age. You're right. That was so inappropriate, Selena. Never mind.
I love your shirt.
Post it later if you want.
It's okay if you have on pajama pants. It was great meeting you.
Damn, top up. Just top up.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
You're hilarious.
Hey, you know what? I had to ask, but I sometimes am not too PC.
Yeah, because on Zoom, there's been times where I'm in a Zoom meeting and I'm going to just leave it right there. Yeah, can we just come right back?
Yeah.
We'll be right back. Welcome back. So we did a little video with husband TikTok.
Yes.
We want to show it. And then he decided to shout out some celebrities. And one of them, I guess, maybe found out about it and boom.
Manifestation. Why can't talk?
Manifestation.
Thank you.
got it.
Man, all right.
So this is us.
Oh yeah, this is us. This is where it started. So we said,
The fray.
hey, you're doing this video with all these celebrities. Well, we're also kind of celebrities. Well, maybe Tia is.
I say.
And so we're gonna do also this Landon Baker kind of look-alike thing.
Look
or
at you.
mocking.
Did you know the
No, I
right-
didn't. What do you mean? My eyes were like this the entire time. I was giving him the side eye the entire time, just trying to
had
see
no
like the
clue.
moves.
No
I thought
clue.
you looked pretty smooth, actually.
I'm not a good dancer. I have not an ounce of
What?
rhythm, and I just kept looking at him to figure out what to do next, and he looked cool, so I was like, I think I could do it.
See,
and
I think you're lying. I think you're actually probably a good dancer.
no, I'm serious, girl. I
We're
cannot
gonna
dance.
make this a dance floor one of these
No.
days. And watch, she's gonna
You
pop
do not
off
want to
for
do.
us.
So then he manifested Luke Combs, and
Yeah,
then
he
this
said
is
it
how
straight
that
into this
video went.
camera. Mhm.
Yeah, and look at the video. That
I
is
love it.
so-
Can we get audio on this
Luke
video?
Combs back in the saddle. I don't
Let's
know why I
grab
was
it.
playing,
We're
but
gonna-
look, I liked it.
Back in the Saddle. Oh yeah, that's one of his
cute.
newer songs. How
Yeah.
cool! And so Luke Combs was here for one of the kind of preview performances
gatherings.
ahead of Lollapalooza, I believe.
Yeah, you're right.
And I don't remember what venue they said he was at, but
People
he
were
did
lined up.
mention,
I remember that.
Yeah, but he did mention that he was going to try to see him this week. Steve, I'm almost positive, he had mentioned that to us, and so he looked right into this camera and said, "I want to make a video with Luke Combs."
I want to know what bathroom they were in, because that's his whole thing.
That's true,
is
yeah.
He's in folks' bathroom, so I know Luke didn't come over to his bathroom. So is that Luke's hotel bathroom?
I guess we'll
He
never
gotta
know.
be careful going in folks' bathrooms. You don't know how that can
You should
end.
have saw some of his comments. Well, on our video that we had on TikTok, he said, I commented, he said, next time your bathroom or my bathroom. And then someone said, you know what, this is the only time it's appropriate for you to comment that back
And
to her.
say that, yeah, because it's
That's
different.
just his thing. It's just his thing.
That's the one place I don't enjoy spending a lot of time
No, and I
in
don't,
my home is the bathroom.
yeah.
I mean, there's obviously mirrors and things like that in the bathroom, but I just don't want to be kicking it in the bathroom.
I decided one day when I build this like grand home for myself that I'm gonna make one of those like separate rooms for the bathroom, just so you know.
I have a separate room for mine, but I don't want to be in the bathroom.
That's true. Okay. Okay.
Oh,
This
boy.
has gone off the rails. We're
It
starting
is.
with Steve,
We're
and
getting-
now we're talking
we're
about
getting stir
bathrooms
happy or
and,
whatever they call it,
some of
stir
our-
crazy.
Yeah, some of our bathroom plans. Okay, well, thanks for joining us. Chicago
Thank
Now.
you.
We will see you tomorrow and really the rest of the week. But
Have a
for
great
now-
evening, day, week.
Live from Chicago, this is Fox 32 News at Noon.
Next at noon, under arrest, the final suspect in custody after a shocking robbery right outside a suburban couple's front door. Changing of the guard, longtime Chicago Congressman Danny Davis will not be seeking re-election. We're going to tell you who's in the scramble to get that seat. And we are headed for a cool down, but not before some potentially wet weather. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. I'm Sylvia Perez. Let's take a live look outside as we wait to see what's going to be coming our way. Who knows, in just a matter of time. Not looking so great out there. Caitlin standing by with the forecast. So the heat and humidity's gone, but we got to get through the rain first.
The rain, Sylvia. It is going to be on and off rain, thunderstorm activity for Chicagoland. Busy today into tonight, even early tomorrow. Some lingering rain in the morning. A few rumbles of thunder possible too. So let's check in on what's happening currently. You saw that live shot of Chicago. It looks dreary. We have a little bit of light rain around. But really our attention is focused on the thunderstorms that are rolling through portions of DeKalb County and LaSalle County. That's where you can see the strongest thunderstorm is now moving over Morris, Grundy County. So LaSalle, you had torrential downpours with this thunderstorm now pushing into Grundy County. We also have some heavy downpours in Kane and Kendall. But again, this is where we have the strongest storm at the moment. Keep in mind, with these thunderstorms, we are going to have a ton of rain. So flooding is a concern, along with damaging wind possible through this afternoon, this evening into the early overnight. Taking a look at Kankakee and also northwest Indiana, a few heavy downpours coming down in southern Lake County, northern Kankakee County, and then as mentioned before, our northern counties too, from McHenry to northern Cook, Kane, Kendall County to DeKalb, you're in on that heavy rain too. I'll time this out for you, and we'll take a look at that beautiful weather right around the corner ahead. Sylvia.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Caitlin. Gary police shot and killed a suspect as officers served a warrant earlier this morning. Police say they were investigating reports of a drug operation in the 600 block of Adams Street. The SWAT team was part of that operation. Police say the man identified in the warrant came out the back of the building and engaged officers with the gun. He was shot and killed. The Lake County Sheriff's Department is handling this investigation. The search for a missing kayaker that is in St. Charles continues today. A man went under the water last night and never resurfaced. Fox 32's Joni Lum has more.
29 agencies have been working on this rescue effort, now a recovery effort. They suspended the search just before sunrise, got more resources, and got back on the water. Search teams used boats equipped with sonar technology, rafts, searchlights, and drones to scan the Fox River just south of Fearson Creek Park. A drone helped police locate a capsized kayak there. Multiple agencies joined in the search efforts.
We did a search for over 7 hours, and the size scan and sector scan sonar that was used mapped out the entire area from the last known point and gave a pretty wide buffer for where the individual would be to make sure that we wouldn't miss any area.
It was reported that 2 people in kayaks were fishing at about 9:20 at night. One kayak turned over. The male went into the river. The other kayaker was able to make it to shore to call for help. Authorities say a boat was involved in the incident.
We were able to make contact with the operator of that boat last night, yes.
Either a wake or potentially the boat. The boat was involved. We don't know exactly what happened. The kayaker was just fell out of the kayak and then wasn't seen after that.
They say the water conditions are much like they are right now. Calm, barely any current, but the water is very murky. And they say they will continue to search until they locate that kayaker. In St. Charles, Joni Lum, Fox 32, Chicago.
And new at noon today, the third and final suspect in a violent armed robbery in Glenview has now been charged. 30-year-old Montreal Carr is accused of holding a man and woman at gunpoint outside their home in April, forcing them to hand over cell phones, cash, and jewelry worth $60,000. The entire incident was caught on Ring video. Carr is now facing the same armed robbery charges as two other suspects already in custody. And happening today, court in a hate crime case involving two Jewish students that were attacked on the DePaul campus. Adam Erkin is accused of attacking Max Long and Michael Kaminsky last November. Earlier today, supporters gathered outside the Cook County Courthouse calling for Erkin to remain in custody and for police to arrest the second suspect, who they say is still on the run. Another high-profile Illinois member of Congress is planning to call it quits. That means another wide-open congressional race, and there is no shortage of people who want that job. Political reporter Paris has the very latest on this. Things are heating up in Chicago's political world, huh?
Sylvia, let the races begin.
Yeah.
You know, sources confirm earlier reports that West Side Congressman Danny Davis is going to announce he is not seeking another term in Congress after his current term expires. Davis is expected to make this announcement tomorrow, and then to endorse a successor, State Representative LaShawn Ford. Ford has already filed paperwork to run in that district. Now, Davis is 83 years old. He's coming up on 30 years in office following stints at City Council and the Cook County Board. Most recently, Davis has been instrumental in getting emergency funding for West Side communities affected by heavy flooding. Now, LaShawn Ford is a longtime state representative who has also recently run for mayor. He had some campaign legal troubles in the past in a case that was ultimately dropped by the U.S. Attorney's Office, so he has a clean slate. And past candidates in that district have included City Treasurer Melissa Conyers-Ervin and progressive stalwart Tina Collins. But Sylvia, I'm told that Conyers-Ervin is interested in getting in this race again. There are a couple other declared candidates. Jason Friedman, a philanthropist and businessman who's been going around raising big money already, and Richard Boykin, a perennial candidate and a former Cook County Board of Commissioner member. When you consider this seat, Jan Schakowsky's retiring in Evanston.
About that. Yes.
Robin Kelly, because she's going to run for Senate. You've got that open Senate race, and we are full of races here in Chicago.
And you just mentioned a few that could possibly replace Davis, but surely there are more we haven't even heard about yet.
It's not often that a seat like this comes open and a 30-year incumbent who always has the advantage is gone, and it's just a free-for-all. So absolutely expect more people. But Friedman has been in this race already raising money. LaShawn Ford, as we said, expected to get that nod from Davis. He's already in the race. More to come.
Okay, it's going to be fun to watch. Thanks,
Absolutely.
Paris. Well, Medicare and Medicaid is turning 60 years old, but this year's